The Very Reverend Patrick Malloy, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I extend my most sincere thanks to this congregation for your kind invitation to say a few words today. I'm honored to have assumed the office as President of the General Assembly, and I take great pride in spiritually inaugurating my presidency together with you today. My friends, it may sound like stating the obvious. Our world is submerged in a wave of interlocking crises, from the still ongoing COVID-19 pandemic to devastating climate change, through widespread violence, worsening conflicts, and inequalities of magnitude we have not seen in decades. How we choose to address all these challenges will be the greatest test of our abilities, our knowledge, and our resolve, as well as the test of our institutions' capacity to achieve their missions. One of the early lessons gathered from the discussions held during the high-level week at the United Nations, that there is a widespread feeling that we have opened a new chapter of history. We haven't given a name to it yet, but most of us see and feel it. We are in a new era with more complex challenges and risk factors that we have never seen since the Second World War. So, we have a historic responsibility to iron out the workable answers and to navigate jointly through rough waters. History will tell whether we were wise enough to listen to her message. The United Nations was founded with the intention of bringing humanity together, of building bridges and fostering peace. For our purposes today, I venture to reprise the words of our former Secretary General, the late Dag Hammarskjöld, who once said, "The UN was not created in order to bring us to heaven, but in order to save us from hell." This, I believe, is one of the links between our universal organizations, the United Nations, and the communities of believers all over the world. The scriptures teach us to care for all that with which we have been blessed, earth and people alike. The UN's function echoes these teachings. To all intents and purposes, its role is to ensure that our 8 billion constituents are cared for and that all their rights are protected, and that our fragile planet is cared for and protected too. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm saddened to admit that we, the human community, have not been doing our fair share of caring, neither for our earth nor for our peers in humanity. As I entered my tenure as President of the 77th session of the General Assembly, I pledged to do my best to foster trust and integrity, values intrinsic to both the churches of the world and the United Nations. The crises we face are multifaceted and require multidimensional solutions. Solutions which I believe should be built on scientific evidence and supported by the pillars of our human existence: morality, respect, understanding, solidarity, and for so many among us, faith. Speaking with you today, let me emphasize my conviction in that both faith and science are incredibly powerful creative forces. Harnessed together, They hold the keys to building a peace and sustainable future. Ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the era of Anthropocene, an epoch when from all natural factors, we humans became the number one to shape the planet's natural systems. It is an epoch in which our activity of such a scale that we are rapidly destroying our environment, depleting the earth of its resources, and through this, deeply hurting each other. By harming the earth, we ultimately harm ourselves. It is our duty to curtail this destruction. And we must put a check on the devastating effects of climate change for the planet, for ourselves, and for future generations. Friends, in this time of deepening conflict, growing irresponsibility, and increasing precariousness, the motto I have chosen for my presidency is as follows: solutions through solidarity, sustainability, and science. Let me put an emphasis on one of them now: solidarity. A quality component of our human interaction, a notion that is supported both by the religions of our world and the flagship of international community, the United Nations. I hope you will join me in this mission to uphold the principles reflected in the UN Charter and shared by the people of faith everywhere on the globe. Together, we have the power to create the more harmonious and united world, in which all of us are included, cared and respected, irrespective of race, gender, or creed. Let me end my statement by sharing a quote from the New Testament. If one member suffers, all suffer together. If one member is honored, all rejoice together. This coming year, let us strive to uphold the values that we all share. Let us honor all the members of our communities, and then let us rejoice together. I thank you, and God bless you all.